Give me 1 second, guys. Trying to pull up my videos and everything. So here's our review of 1996, September 30th, WWF Raw. I think Vlad did this review earlier, so me and Vlad already reviewed all these storylines if you want to go read them. It's kind of interesting to me. But all right, so this is the continuation of the Razor Ramon storyline. So Robert, you weren't here, but last week they introduced the fake Razor Ramon finally. Okay. And JR cut this crazy promo that I thought, actually, you know what? I'm going to play during the intro of this show. They play like a little bit of what JR said the week before. And man, JR sounded like a little too freaking, like it sounded a little too natural, the stuff he was saying about Vince McMahon and the WWF.
Yeah, that was a work. That was a work shoot. I mean, that was a complete work shoot.
Exactly. So listen to this, Robert. Let me play something from here.
I have no loyalty to the World Wrestling Federation. I've only got loyalty to good old JR. I came here to be the primary play-by-play man in the WWF. Vince McMahon couldn't stand the competition, and he fired my ass. It's crap. These guys leaving the WWF was an accident? Hell no, it's not. I've been very busy. And right now, I want to bring back one of your favorites. He's the bad guy, Razor Ramon.
With those words, Jim Ross tore apart the foundation of the World Wrestling Federation. Tonight, a new era begins. Diesel is in.
He said he fired my ass. All right. So let me see. This is the image of when commentary. They show the commentary team when the show opens, and JR, this is the first time he appears. So here he is. He's so freaking proud of himself. He looks like, yeah, I told off the company. I told my boss to go fuck himself. And yeah, I'm still here and I got a job. He's dead serious. And he still has a job, which is kind of funny. That's another thing. Like, if he actually said all that stuff about his boss, like, you know, wouldn't he get
fired?
Wouldn't he get fired or anything? But he did mention that he thinks he might get fired. Actually, I'm going to play some of what he said during commentary. So this is during Stone Cold's match, but I'm going to cover Stone Cold's match in a second. I just want to listen to what JR said during his match. So I'm going to hit play on this one.
Savio Vega will battle Razor Ramon, JR. Oh, yeah, there you see him. Hell, that's him. That's Razor Ramon. What else you going to call it? Razor Ramon right here tonight. And there's a big Diesel for that. That's actually in the most asked question all week. What do we think of this guy? Well, I would suggest, Kevin, you call him Razor Ramon, as identified on his height. Well, all I can say is Gorilla Monsoon's going to be out here. Jim, I'm afraid he's going to accuse you of being a hoodwinker. Yeah, well, Monsoon's already tried to fire me once. Maybe he's going to fire me tonight. Maybe that's his big announcement. He's going to fire me right here. On the air? That'll only be the third time I've been fired from this company. Jake now.
All right. So I don't want to talk about this Stone Cold Jake thing yet. I'll talk about that later. But what happened? So Gorilla Monsoon, the president of, well, here's the Outsiders warming up in the locker room. So, you know, I did mention that the fact that they're actually teasing Diesel this time doesn't really matter, because it's like, okay, we already know this is bullshit. Like, you don't need to tease that Diesel's going to be here, dude. Shut the fuck up. So here's Razor coming out, doing the Razor move. It's funny to me, I wrote in the comment, Vlad, that he does all of Razor's mannerisms and everything, you know? But anyways, let me play. So here's JR's explanation for Hall and Nash, or Razor and Diesel, and he says, I never call him Hall and Nash, because Kevin Kelly's like, this is not Hall and Nash, and JR's like, well, I didn't say it was going to be Hall and Nash, right? So here's how he explains it.
But you guys like competition? Is there something wrong with having great young athletes here? Gorilla Monsoon said it would not be Scott Hall, Jim Ross, and I never mentioned Scott Hall's name, or Kevin Nash. You probably ever mention their names? No, you don't. What's wrong with bringing great athletes to the World Wrestling Federation?
So he's saying he's just bringing great athletes in. I didn't say I was going to bring Hall and Nash, all right? So I guess he's saying I brought two guys in, and I'm calling them Diesel and Razor. All right, well, that's fine. Whatever.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, so here's Gorilla Monsoon to come in to argue with JR about this, the president of the WWF.
Please, the World Wrestling Federation President Gorilla Monsoon has joined us here at the broadcast desk. We are getting set to see the man you claim to be Razor Ramon, Jim Ross, in the ring, taking on Savio Vega. And I don't know what to make about this match or the comments that you made.
Well, it's pretty obvious that's Razor Ramon. No, that's not obvious, Jim Ross. That is not obvious.
Look at your...
Gorilla Monsoon's face here, bro. I'm pressing pause on this and making this bigger. Oh my god, he's like so serious. Like that's not the Jim Ross. That's this guy is some actor. To go through this ridiculousness, he is a great wrestling actor. I'll give him that. I'm just gonna play a couple more seconds of this.
Tom in the office, look at his contract. His contract says his name is Razor Ramon. But what's his real name? You know, I'm concerned about what's going down here, Jim Ross. I'm very concerned about your attitude and what you're doing right now here at World Wrestling.
I don't have any right to have this attitude, do I? Have you ever been fired? Did McMahon ever fire you?
Absolutely
Did
not.
your children ever almost go hungry? Did he destroy your life? Hell no, he didn't.
All right. So they have the match. It's Savio Vega against Razor Ramon, quote unquote. I think I have a couple of spots of, well, here comes the Diesel, the fake Diesel. So he comes to, I think, ruin the match. As far as I remember, it's a DQ, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Match: Savio Vega defeats Razor by DQ. Okay, that's true. So, what's his name? Fake Diesel Kane. Who is Kane, by the way, right? This is the future Kane.
Correct. This is Glenn Jacobs.
He does look a lot like Diesel when he puts on the beard and the hair and everything. So that's interesting. And then he's doing all the mannerisms too of Diesel. All right. Well, let me see what Vlad gave this on the Malapert Smark rating system. This is a retrospective review, by the way. So put this over here for y'all. So Vlad's review is a half a thumbs up. Okay, I gave it a thumbs up mostly for Gorilla Monsoon and JR complaining about, all the being fired stuff and everything. I don't know. Robert, do you have any, I know you're watching this for the first time, but do you have any comments on good old JR here? Is this interesting to you to hear him speak? Like, I saw you smiling a little bit when he was
I mean, yeah, the stuff he says is interesting. Is this whole idea of bringing Razor Ramon and Diesel back, but it's not the same Razor Ramon and Diesel that everybody's expecting. Is just still ridiculous.
Vlad, do you want to make any comments on this before we move along to maybe a couple more clips?
Well, I think it's just bad business to keep mentioning your opposition and the two hottest guys there consistently, like repeatedly on your show every week. It just makes the viewer want to see what's going on the other side. Like, who are these? Who is Nash and Hall? Let's see what's going on. Even if you're not watching WCW, you're kind of like, well, what's going on over there? Why do they keep talking about these guys? But anyways, yeah, JR was hilarious. I like the line where he said, like, I don't know who. Well, actually, I don't know if it was King who said, like, when JR was like, did you ever have your kids go hungry or you go hungry or something like that? And I think King said something about, like, you don't look like you missed any meals.
Yeah, no, they talked for a lot longer, Robert. I just didn't want to play 5 minutes of JR and Gorilla talking. I thought the whole thing was pretty good, and obviously Jerry Lawler's there too. So yes, this was to me on this day, and the way they explained it away. He's like, well, I didn't say it was going to be Hall and Nash. It's just a guy named Razor and a guy named Diesel. I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. He brought some new competitors here. You guys want to complain about this still? Okay. He hoodwinked everybody. It was kind of a bait and switch, and it's a silly storyline, but it's not that bad. I don't think it's a disaster, honestly. It probably still brought some viewers in. Probably some people were still like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean?
It's one of the great wrestling disasters of all time. It's one of them. It's in the top 10, probably, of wrestling storylines that they put together that blew up in their face.